Good afternoon, this is Dimitri Lascaris coming to you on August 12, 2024 from the port of Piraeus outside of Athens, Greece. I arrived in Athens yesterday on August 11th in anticipation of the departure this week from Malta, which is not far from Athens, of a vessel by the name of the Handala. This is a vessel that forms part of the Freedom Flotilla to Gaza. Over the past year, the Handala, which originated its voyage in Norway and is flagged by Norway, has made its way through the Scandinavian waters, down the Atlantic coast of France, and into the Mediterranean. And today, August 12th, it's undergoing repairs because there are some issues involving the engine. Hopefully, those issues will be resolved today. And if they are resolved today and the vessel leaves on the planned departure date this week, I intend to be on that vessel along with numerous other human rights activists and journalists, and we will set sail towards Gaza. The mission's purpose, of course, is to draw as much attention as possible to the crimes of the Israeli state and its deprivation of humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza, but also the complicity of Western governments, including the governments of Greece and Cyprus, in the suffering of the Palestinian people. And I'll keep you, of course, apprised of whether or not the vessel departs this week, and if I manage to be on the vessel and it does depart, I will be reporting regularly as circumstances permit from the deck of the Handala. Now, in the interim, I discovered yesterday, the very day of my arrival here in Athens, that another vessel by the name of the Overseas Santorini, which is a gas and oil tanker that is owned by an American corporation by the name of OSG, which is based in Delaware in the United States, arrived in the port of Piraeus yesterday on the same day as I arrived in Athens, and it is carrying, as has been widely publicized by Palestinian solidarity activists, military jet fuel for Israel's Air Force to use. And this is military jet fuel that is specifically designed for use by the F-16s and the F-35s in Israel's Air Force, which have been pulverizing Gaza and have caused untold death and destruction to the civilian population of the Gaza concentration camp. The Overseas Santorini has made this voyage in the past. It has encountered unusual difficulties this time around. It tried to dock in Gibraltar, but due to pressure from international lawyers and activists, the government of Gibraltar denied it the permission to dock there. It then attempted to dock in Spain, again under pressure from international lawyers and human rights activists. The Spanish government refused to allow it to dock there. But for reasons that the Greek government has not explained to my knowledge, it decided, despite the approach of other EU governments, to allow this vessel to come into the port of Piraeus. How do we know this? This has been reported by reputable, reliable websites that track the movement of commercial shipping around the world. And they say and confirm that the vessel is here right now and that it arrived here yesterday. I've spent hours going around this port. It's massive, trying to find the vessel. There are many areas of the port that I have not been able to access. Some of those are off limits to the public. I've been chased away a couple of other places by people when I showed up and told them that I was a journalist. So it may well have been in some area that I drove by or walked by, but I just wasn't able to gain access to it. But I'm going to keep looking for it, and if I find it and can visually confirm what these websites are saying, I will certainly publish the video evidence of that. In the interim, it does behoove the Greek government to explain why it has done this, why it continues to be complicit in the crimes of the apartheid regime. For example, the Greek government allows a team from Israeli drone manufacturer Elbit Systems to operate from the Greek military base outside of Kalamata, where I have a home. And it also has reportedly allowed the Israeli Air Force to use Greek airspace to simulate runs or bombing runs on Iran, which would be obviously a very devastating war for the entire region. And on top of that, our cousins, so to speak, in Cyprus, in the Greek Cypriot part of the island, have allowed the British to use the Akrotiri military base on the southern tip of the island of Cyprus to transport huge quantities of military equipment to Israel during the last 10 to 11 months of genocide. That base has also been used by the British and American Air Forces to bomb Yemen. Apparently it is also being used to conduct drone surveillance over Gaza and other parts of occupied Palestine, perhaps. It may well end up being used for other purposes. Declassified UK recently discovered evidence that special military aircraft of the United States have conducted several flights from Akrotiri to Israel for the purpose, apparently, of transporting U.S. special forces to Israel for unknown reasons. So there's no shortage of complicity on the part of the Greek government of Kyriakos Mitsotakis and the Greek Cypriot government in the crimes of Israel's apartheid and genocidal state. This is not in accordance with the wishes of most Greeks and most Cypriots. It seems, however, that these two governments are more inclined to satisfy the demands of their so-called partners in Washington and Brussels than fulfill the wishes of their electorates. For the time being, I'm going to be signing off. I'll have more to say if I can find where this vessel is situated in the port of Piraeus, and as I mentioned, if the Handala does manage to depart this week from the port of Malta, I will be there and will be reporting from the vessel in the days and weeks ahead. For now, I'm signing off from the port of Piraeus in Greece on August 12, 2024.